kids! You're watching Fun for Kids Club. Let's learn and have fun together. Let's go! Hey, smart kids! Are you ready for some fun questions? Let's go!
Which one is the camel? Great job! That's the camel. Which one is the crocodile? Yes, that's the crocodile. Which one is the cheetah? Correct, that's the cheetah. Which one is the donkey? Good job! That's the donkey. Which one is the frog? Yes, that's the frog. Which one is the turtle? Great pick! That's the turtle. Which one is the seal? Good job! That's the seal. Which one is the butterfly? Yes, that's the butterfly. Which one is the rabbit? Correct! That's the rabbit. Which one is the llama? Well done! That's the llama. Which one is the otter? Correct! That's the otter. Which one is the ferret? Great job! You picked the ferret. Which one is the duck? Nice choice! That's the duck. Which one is the eagle? Awesome! You chose the eagle. Which one is the dolphin? Yes, that's the dolphin. Which one is the buffalo? Well done! You picked the buffalo. Which one is the shrimp? Correct! That's the shrimp. Which one is the antelope? Great job! You picked the antelope. Which one is the swan? Nice! That's the swan. Which one is the penguin? Awesome! You chose the penguin. Which one is the reindeer? Correct! That's the reindeer. Which one is the finch? Great choice! That's the finch. Which one is the parrot? Well done! You picked the parrot. Which one is the squid? Yes, that's the squid. Which one is the wolf? Nice choice! You chose the wolf. Which one is the jaguar? Correct! That's the jaguar. Which one is the goat? Well done! You picked the goat. Which one is the crab? Great job! That's the crab. Which one is the flamingo? Awesome! You chose the flamingo. Which one is the koala? Perfect! That's the koala.
Thanks for watching, kids. Great job today. You're so smart. See you next time.